We are going live, and let me just check that everything is live and that we are streaming on all of the platforms. And I'm going to do the recap of what happened in the past streaming session and where we're going right now. So this is the continuation of the streaming session. So far, so good. I mean, last time that was pretty interesting. We were super close on that. So let me recall. We were basically betting. We were around here at like $3,000 for Ethereum, and we were having a short. We basically were shorting. Let me check that. We're shorting Ethereum, longing hype last time with stop losses and take profits. It was pretty good. So the problem was that we were a little bit too greedy. We didn't hit the take profit for the Ethereum short, and that reversed. And actually, we lost money on that, but we still made money on the hype long, which is pretty cool. So we were betting this region. We were betting on, like, we had the stop loss around like 2,660 or something. It hit like 2,730. So that was close, right? If you look at what's happening, I'm going to go by the hour here. That was very close. We're basically, if you see this line here, we're betting around here. It went down like we wanted, but it didn't went to the region that we wanted. But still, it was pretty cool. And from this moment, it was going way up. We got liquidated here, unfortunately. But still, what happened in hype was that we managed to get through that and basically hit the take profit on the way up pretty nicely, because right now the price is much lower than it used to be. Might be actually a good moment to maybe beat that. We're coming to that in a moment, because again, hype just went -7%. Altogether, we're a little bit positive with 757. So if you look at the trade history here, last time, on the hype long, we made like $300. On a if short, we made, we lost a little bit, like $300. Altogether, it's slightly positive. So I think we're going to see that in a moment. We have right now 757, which means that from the last time we had 723, so we made $24. That's amazing. Positive PNL. So too greedy for if short. Good direction, but didn't hit our taper levels. Hype long was perfect. So this is cool. I really liked it. And in this video, I'm going to also talk about what I see the market going a little bit, or at least what I'm trading. I'm still in the same spot that I used to be, meaning that I'm more on the bearish side. I don't really like holding anything longer. I don't think like on the other hand, I'm more on the side of like going into equities, especially that we have right now equities on lighter, hyperliquid, but we also have Ostium, Vest markets. Also, what I'm doing and what I'm working on right now, if you go to the points calculator that I built on cryptoexchange.sh, there's also arbitrage, and I'm working on right now on the RWA part, meaning tokenized stocks and commodities, different currencies, and we have this comparison with Ostium. So I just added Ostium to the mix, entirely new dashboard. I think that's pretty cool and unique. You have Ostium compared with lighter. I still need to work a little bit on HIP3 because Hyperliquid itself just has SPX. And then for different stocks, it collaborates with, for example, Trade XYZ or a bunch of other platforms that Hype has, meaning that I'm having problems accessing that through API, but still, this is something that I have to work on, and it's coming probably soon. And then you'll be able to, for example, do this cool stuff that you can actually have delta neutral trading on NVIDIA, or maybe you just kind of find a better spot for where to long or trade things like Google, Microsoft, and so on. But generally, it seems like, for example, for long-term holding, Ostium is the best. They have the lowest fees, so definitely check them out if you haven't already. They also, of course, have the points program, and recently just announced having a funding round, which is great. I'm super bullish on Ostium. I think the team is great and they doing cool stuff. So let's see how it goes. Lighter, of course, is coming very soon. One of the news here is that there's already spot on Lighter. If you go and click on spot here on the left. For now, there's nothing, but if you try to deposit, if you go with, where was it? If you go with wallet deposit, you can deposit if spot. So that's the new thing. If you want to, probably if you want to, get more points, you should be doing that right now. So depositing if spot on Lighter, because if the gameplay is the same as for Hyperliquid, then all the new features has to be used. So the best strategy for that is of course trading on spot, and probably when the spot trading go live, which should go live I think in the next couple of days at the very least, or like next week I would presume, the best strategy for gaining more points is of course trading on spot on Lighter, and that's what I'll be doing. If you are also after points, then definitely check it out. As a reminder, so far on the streaming session we have 11 points, so that should be by if it's around 90 or $100 per point, because that's the price OTC, that should be around $1,000, which is pretty cool. And yeah, on top of that, we are still fighting for whatever we can do here on leverage. So let me check that we have everything live and it's working well. I didn't went there, but I think it should be fine. So yeah, Twitter seems to be working fine. Let me check on YouTube as well. And then we can go back to analyzing the markets and just having, a short streaming session and see what was interesting over there. Yeah, it seems to be live as well, so I think we can go on. Yeah, so as I've mentioned, I'm basically going more and more into the direction of equities. Especially tokenized equities are cool because you can have everything within crypto, so that gives you like one umbrella where you can trade everything. Plus perps on equities are even cooler because you can do cool stuff you could do with crypto, but 24/7 with stocks, and I think that's really great. Now, going back to the market, as I said, I'm more bearish in the long term, or at least in the short term, at least until the end of the year and probably a couple of months. We see what will happen. But for now, there's so many good news in the markets, generally speaking. Like if you look at equities again, they keep on going up. All the things from Google's to other stuff, they keep on going up. There's so many talk around AI and all the investments in AI, and that's of course cool. But that has absolutely zero influence over crypto right now, and that's a little bit concerning, especially that after all those good news, you basically have the price action that's not really looking great. I mean, we definitely were at the point where we had better moments. Right now, it's a little bit tricky. I'm not sure, like I'm at the point where probably I'm still willing to bet more on hype versus, for example, shorting Ethereum. That would be probably kind of the bet that I'm here looking at in this trading session. So doing something like, let's say, $5,000 buy long here, and then shorting on this side, because I think there's definitely more to ETH. And let me just check what I want to do here for the stop losses. I want to probably do with like or take profit at 2, not to be greedy this time. Let me check that, probably something like that for now. Maybe I go higher. I think like the invalidation for the bear thesis on Ethereum would be something like 3,300. Right, so we're in the middle. On the other, for hype, if we go below like 28.8, then that's definitely bad. And we probably want to take profit at what, like 34? Even 35, I guess this would be. Maybe 34.8, that would be. So yeah, this is something I want to bet more maybe. Longing hype, let's go a little bit more. We can have bigger positions here and just try to do it. I can't do it like that because I get liquidated. I have to. I get liquidated quicker. Yeah, let me just think whether. So again, explaining this kind of rationale for this kind of position. This is basically the same we did last time. I'm still thinking that hype is just as an asset much stronger than much weaker than hype is. Hype is stronger because house of all finance. There's definitely bullish scenario. There's still a lot of things that are super cool coming for hype. Whereas with Ethereum, most of the things have happened. Of course, you can argue that a lot of tokenization is still going on, and there's a lot of things coming to Ethereum, but they don't really they happen on Ethereum, but they do not influence in any way the token, because there are so many tokens on Ethereum itself that it doesn't really mean it doesn't really influence the price action. And on top of that, ETH is pretty high considering the market cap. Hype is much lower. Of course, that's like an argument that doesn't make sense often, but in this case it does, because hype is of course L1, and it's trying to basically replace Ethereum as the layer for finance. And I would argue that if you like in the future, when you think DeFi, if you think hype, that's probably the scenario where hype is worth probably like half of Ethereum market cap. So that's why I'm generally bullish hype versus Ethereum. But in the short term, I'm just looking at the price action. And of course, like we have here this kind of zigzag, and it seems like just hype went much lower down. So betting on this kind of mean reversion for the pair of hype ETH, because ETH went down like 1% versus hype went down 7%. So hype is still very much more volatile. I think this is kind of a good bet for the price action. I would, for example, I still think like the last time we actually can hit both of those things, so we can take profits on the short side with ETH and long side with hype. This is what happened last time, pretty much. I mean, if I weren't that greedy for the ETH part, that would be fine, because we were a little bit higher. This time I'm also higher. I think if we keep on getting this lower loss at the very least, this is what might happen, but who knows. We can also go, of course, higher with Ethereum, but I think it's much harder as an asset to pump that. So altogether, if we are to hit only one of those, I think we should be fine, in the sense that if we hit, for example, hype and get liquidated on Ethereum, or stop loss on Ethereum, then basically I think we're like $100 in profit, which is fine. And this is the kind of the thing that I want to stay with. I wanted to also check the sentiment here on with what money printers are doing. People are still bearish on some of the assets like Fartcoin and Zcash, but they start to be bullish on some of the others. Actually, I probably should have a look at Solana as well. Yeah, Solana went a little bit down. A little bit down too, and this might be an interesting bet here. So Solana in this way down, especially like since probably like 2 months ago, basically definitely since October 10th, is extremely weak, especially for throughout the entire November. It just were going lower and lower, and much lower than Ethereum when you look at the relative percentage of like how lower it went. Because it went from like 250, right, 240, 50 to like 120, which means it basically did minus 50%, and it's still around this minus 50%, whereas Ethereum went from 4,000, close to 5,000 to 2,500 probably, so also minus 50%, but now it's a little bit higher. It's I think like minus 40 or 35%. So Another kind of a bet here instead of hype would be probably longing Solana and shorting Ethereum as a hedge. That might be interesting. We don't have, like, in this account, I don't have enough capital, so I'm just playing that thing. Should be fine, but this is another scenario. We'll be just looking at Solana and longing Solana and shorting Ethereum. This is the kind of an interesting trade. Apart from that, what's interesting here, so people are bullish on Solana. Zcash, I wanted to have a look at Zcash as well. A lot of things happen here, I guess, but yeah, it's still oscillating much lower than it used to be. It went even to $300 from the highs of $750. And it seems like it still has a potential to go down because it went up so fast. There are still a lot of people who are holding the bag and managed to buy in at the lowest at around 100, 200. So I guess like the target here would be actually around 200 in the longer term. But who knows? Generally speaking, I'm pretty bullish on Zcash, but I want to buy it on spot, but not now. Let's wait. I'm pretty chill when it comes to spot right now, not really forcing anything, looking at the market, thinking more about equities. Just like I said, I might add them at some point to the streaming session or just do streams with, doing crazy streams with perps on equities. This would be probably cool also for people from TradFi market to show them how crypto works on equities. So I think of doing something like that, but we'll see. For now, we're playing what we have. Towards the end of the year, there might be a little bit of the bullish action, but I would assume that the second half of December, so something like in a week or two, we're going to get more and more of the bearish price action because people will start to tax harvest, realize their losses, to just write them off. So they probably will start selling, just like what happened last year. If you look at, for example, let's have a look even at maybe Ethereum for what was happening last year around this moment, right? So already maybe we actually look at the max. So last year the all-time high was around December 8th. Right now we have December 5th, so in 3 days we had a bit of a bullish action. Previously to that, actually, it wasn't that bullish, but of course November was super bullish. Then we had this high, and then it went all the way down until April because of the tariffs, of course. But short term, we're looking here at the 8th of November. So from this December, we basically were still going down until, well, all the way down. And in February, you had even more stuff. So it was trending down, and I would assume something similar might happen right now. Of course, we're a little bit lower. We're at $3,000 already. So going down would mean probably setting the price to like $2,000 or something. And that would be a great spot. I mean, I'm still interested in Ethereum. 2,000 or 1,500 would be an interesting spot to buy something. Of course, for the long-term hold. But we'll see. I mean, a lot of things to happen, and we're going to see what will happen towards the end of the year. For now, I just want to trade and stack points and get some interesting price action. We're going to stay with this profile, with these two trades, shorting ETH, longing hype. Short ETH. Again, we have hype long, strength versus weakness. Pretty much the same thesis as before. So downtrending market, but we're betting on strength versus weakness. So it's more on a delta neutral side. Yep. So I think we're going to stay with that one. And of course, a reminder, if you're using Lighter, definitely have a look at spot. Spot trading is coming along the way, so it's going to be good for points. Maybe we do something here on a channel as well. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to the channel. I'm probably going to finish right now. Don't have much to say. I don't think like this is like super interesting price action. It's a little bit, you know, grinding down. You could try to get those moves, but apart from, you know, like going up and down here, well, basically here, then the only thing to bet is you can look at some of the other projects, but there's not so many cool projects coming along the way. You know, there were some of the things in the, I think, Neobank meta, like Avicii money. I think that was interesting, but that ran away. There are a couple of other stuff as well, but there's not so many interesting stuff happening. There are a couple of interesting projects, but generally speaking, people started to, you know, take time off because the valuations are not so interesting. So we're seeing what will happen next. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to the channel and see you in the next stream. I'm streaming Mondays and Fridays, not every Monday, not every Friday, but if I stream on those 2 days for the trading session. Sometimes I stream also other days, but usually that's not related to trading. Thanks for watching. See you in the next